Hey guys, welcome back to the Even Tea Cup for this match between Nasty Boys and the Guiding Hands Goat Club. Great name. Um, awesome thing I wanted to bring up to you is that with the Raven pick coming out here for the Guiding Hands Social Club, it is a Torp Raven. It's no longer Cruise, so that's going to be a lot of damage coming in. They're also bringing the Cyclone with a Scythe Tower and that Griffin, which is going to be a lot of trouble for the Nasty Boys Osprey. With the Nasty Boys Osprey, there's also a Tempest, Hurricane, Corax, and Merlin. And how do you think this Griffin could affect this match?
I don't think it's going to do too much because the Griffin only has the Amar and Galente jammers. So as long as the Nasty Boys are just kind of flying around, they should be okay, I think.
Well, it's true. But, every now and then you get that off-racial jam, which could, like I said, with ECM, be your best friend or your worst friend. But we have two teams that do have Logi. It's going to be a race. A big difference between the Scythe and the Osprey here is that the Scythe is MWD fit, but it's only buffer, while the Osprey is afterburner fit, but does have its own local tank rep. So it's going to be a lot of kiting. This Tempest is going to go right in. I know that Hurricane could easily probably apply on this Scythe, and the match should be starting here soon, and I expect two teams going right at each other.
Well, we want to hope that the Nasty Boys will be able to use their Merlin to tackle that Scythe right away, because if they do, that'll give them a pretty good advantage.
Oh, definitely, especially being a buffer Scythe. But it would be tough because it's going to be a very nice MWD race for the two. But there goes the match. It is starting, and it looks like Nasty Boys are kiting away here. They're going to use their range of the Hurricane and the Corax to really put damage on the tower, which is really low hull here.
And it's already taking some serious damage. And it looks like that Osprey over here has been jammed out already, so we'll see what they get to do from there.
But lucky for Nasty Boys, there's no damage being applied across their team at all. Because this Raven and the Cyclone, they all have to get in close, and they're really not really being aggressive at all, which is very surprising to me, especially with their team having a Torp Raven. Just really no damage being applied on Nasty Boys, and they're just in a very comfortable spot. That tower is now saved by the Scythe, so he has nothing to worry about. I'm guessing that the Goats team is waiting for the Griffin to get another jam on the Scythe before they reapply some major damage.
And I misspoke earlier. We can see the attempts at a jam. We can't necessarily see that they have been successful. So we're only seeing part of that.
Oh, and the tower gets alphaed right off the field, probably from this amazing Hurricane piloting of Elden Ring.
And it looks like that Hurricane is doing work despite the potential jams on him, which is definitely exciting to see.
Now we finally see the Guiding Hands Go Club deciding to go, all right, we need to be aggressive. Let's actually use this Torp Raven to what it's supposed to do and be in your face. Yeah, like I'm guessing that their whole big hesitation was they wanted to see if they could get a jam on this Osprey before going in, but focused aggression, just being as aggressive as possible, needs to be their game plan here.
And it looks like that newt is the Corax is neuted out, or going to be neuted out soon. So we'll see kind of what happens with that. Because it looks like everybody seems to be holding up their armor and shields perfectly fine.
Yeah, we've gone to another point of stability. That tower probably just got a really good alpha shot that went ahead and took him out over Logi reps. The Corax was in the previous season iteration of this tournament light missile fit. Now it is rocket, so you won't see it kiting away as much. It'll be in the danger zone. And we see the Raven taking a ton of damage.
It's taking damage. It was holding up, but it might not be anymore with the newts and the web on him. But the Osprey has been completely grappled, it looks like, and neutered out. So that might go down pretty quickly on Nasty Boys.
Yeah, those applications, those newts, and it also being an afterburner Osprey is definitely a good sign for the Guiding Hand Goat Club to get on him. But the Osprey still does have its own local rep. So this is going to be a race between how long he could stay up and if the Raven could go down. So in these matches, these 5-on-5 matches, being able to just outlast your opponent, even if it's just a few seconds, could really tilt the match one way or the other. Just these dramatic changes in a match cycle.
And it looks like the Raven is taking more damage, but it is also, getting its remote reps, which could be good. But the Scythe might be losing its strength pretty quickly.
Oh yes, the Merlin is on the Scythe. He is sticking with the Scythe, trying to slow down the Scythe as much as possible. Though the Merlin is gonna have quite a bit of trouble doing that because the Scythe is pretty
jammed
quick.
out now.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Merlin, it only has a web, so it can't just completely shut off the NWD of the Scythe. But the Scythe is going low, and that's probably damage from the Hurricane being easily applied on the Scythe. This Tempest pilot of Killa 542 is just kind of on the outskirts, not being as aggressive as he could be. Because he does have this, he is a good brawler. The Tempest is an amazing brawler, and we've seen some matches before in the past where the Tempest could just take over a whole match by himself.
And it looks like the Merlin's jam did not go through because it looks like that Scythe has been webbed down and maybe out. Yep, it's gonna be gone.
All right, and the Scythe is down. So really, the biggest dangers now. I mean, it still could go either way. That Griffin is still up, though it is taking damage, and it is right in the middle of everything. It is tackled. Unless it's somehow some miracle jams and it's able to get away, I don't see it happening. But looks like Nasty Boys should be able to wrap things up now. The Osprey is taking damage, but I'm sure he has no worries in the world right now.
And it looks like this Osprey is it's tanking it for now, but it looks like it might not be able to last much longer. But then again, it didn't lose all of the newt on it.
Yeah, it still has the Raven on top of it. And I wonder if this Raven's having trouble applying its full damage because it is Torfit. So that's going to be an issue. We see the Merlin streaking right forward the Raven. Probably just web the Raven so the Osprey could hopefully get enough distance away from the Raven.
But it looks like the Raven is taking some serious damage, so that could be good for Nasty Boys, just like we had suspected. But we'll see if it can get around a little bit faster than we had originally thought.
Okay, so this Raven, unfortunately for him, does not have a local repper. This is all shield buffer. So once he gets low, there's really no hope for him unless there's some shield drones, but there's just not enough rep Logi bots on the field to save him. And then after this Raven's about to go down, I'm pretty sure this Osprey is going to live. It is close. He is on the edge, and the Raven is still on him. But now this is just, hey, let's try to at least get a kill.
And that Raven's gone, so it looks like that Cyclone will be down pretty quickly now that everything is kind of on it.
The Cyclone, Jimmy Burrito, he did live pretty long throughout the match. He was never really focused on, and no damage was actually applied on him until now. But it was a good flying from Nasty Boys. I mean, that match could have gone any way. Those are definitely points of stability between the two teams.
And the Cyclone is now gone. Way to go, Nasty Boys. Getting everything down and not losing a single ship.